Hello everyone, welcome to So Lovely with Grace. I'm Grace, and today I'm going to show you the fashion show that was at the Sewing Expo. The Sewing Expo, as you probably know, was the 16th through yesterday, I think, the day after St. Patty's Day. So it was Thursday through Saturday. And one of the highlights of the expo was the fashion show. 2 days before the event, I get an email with activities for the expo, and one of them said fashion show. So I clicked on it just to know about it because, you know, you want to know what you're doing. I did sign up for classes and I knew I was going to shop, but the fashion show really intrigued me. So when I clicked on that link, it said, if you want to enter, click here. So I was like, okay, why not? I'm going to enter. And I did. And they said if you get an email, you're accepted. So I think it was like an hour or so, I got an email back saying, congratulations, you're accepted. You can model your garment in the fashion show. And that was going to be Friday at noon at the expo stage. So I was like, wow, this is so much fun. Why not? Think about it. I do YouTube, so I get like hundreds of views. What's a few more views, but in person? It'd be more fun, right? And so I did that. I entered and I modeled my rose floral dress with the ruffle sleeve. That was from the pattern, as you recall, New Look 6095 with the cap sleeve. I added the ruffle and I modeled this dress because that was my recent make and I was really, I really liked it. And then along with that, I did bring my matching bag. As you recall, if you watched my last video, this was done in the hoop with a Pickle Pie Design pattern. Pickle Pie Design is an embroidery company and they have a lot of in the hoop projects, and I highly recommend them because they are good quality instructions. And that's what you need when you're learning embroidery: instructions, real good details and photos. So that's what I like about that company. And when I did go out on the stage, I was wearing these tennis shoes that I modeled before, but I added these bows. I was like, I want to tie the outfit all together. So I made these bows. This is even before I entered. I had these bows and I was going to show these on my channel. So they're pretty simple. You just sew up a bow. I mean, you can go on YouTube and see a ton of tutorials on that. And what I did was I got this hair clip right here. As you can see, this clip here, and I attached it to the center, and then I just attached it to the laces here for security, so they stayed on. And when I modeled this shoe with my dress, I had it, the full shoe here. I didn't wear it as a mule on my dress. And I also wanted to tell you that in the fashion show, I did model 2 more garments because Nick Coman, his name is Coman, C-O-M-A-N, from Dragonfly Creative, he did not have enough models. We needed more entries, and he wanted to show off his creations. So all of us got together and we, got to show a couple more outfits. So I modeled my dress that I made and then 2 of his creations. And what I like about his creations is his fabric is hand dyed. He picked the colors and dyed the fabric. It's his pattern, his creation. So it was a lot of fun. And one of the models, Marie Haynes, I met, and she has a beautiful New Look pattern. I think it's 6525. I don't have it here, but Brittany Jones does a tutorial on it. And she wore that dress and it was stunning. So I'm definitely going to pick up that pattern because it looked easy, and she said she made it 8 times in various fabrics, knit fabrics, and it comes out great every time. So just a little tip there, if you're looking for a new easy pattern that looks gorgeous, you can see Marie wearing hers. What was really wonderful is if you're entered into the fashion show, you get free admission. So I got to get in free. Even though I purchased my admission ticket a few months ago, Tom was able to get in with my ticket, my husband Tom. So he's the one that I give all the credit to for videotaping this show, and I was truly blessed to have him do that for me. And he did a great job. This is a wonderful show. I just want you to know there's very unique designs, and the models, we are not professional, but we had a blast. And I highly recommend it for anybody to join and try to do this show, because it is a lot of fun, and Nick is a wonderful host. He made everyone feel comfortable and beautiful. I hope you enjoy the show, and stay tuned for after the show because I'm going to have additional comments.
Welcome to Fashion Fridays. I'm Nick Coman with Dragonfly Creative, and we are going to be doing a fashion show today with some of my stuff, some of the other teachers' stuff, and we have some wonderful students who brought back things that they've either done here in class or just done at home and want to show off a little bit. So let's give everybody a big round of applause when they come out, and let's start. We're starting. And this is the lovely Liz Fredericks. Liz helps organize, well, actually not help. Liz organizes our fashion show. I would be a complete mess without her. Yeah, give Liz an applause. So Liz is wearing a princess-themed dress of red cotton piqué. She loves dresses for the summer. Princess seams are perfect for fitting, and Liz has never met a polka dot that she doesn't like. Thank you so much, Liz. That's gorgeous. I mean, and that fits just beautifully. So y'all having fun? Good. This is the lovely Jill McCoy. Jill is one of our teachers. Yeah. Jill's one of our teachers, and Jill is wearing one of my tops. This is a bias cut tee, and this is done in a hand-dyed rayon crepe. Okay? Huh? Yeah, that's a hand-dyed. Oh, well, okay, I dyed it. It's a hand-dyed by me, rayon crepe. And what's really cool is this top is of 2 pieces. It's just a 2-piece top. It lays out flat with sort of points on it. It looks nothing like a pattern. It really looks more like an architectural drawing. And you put the pieces together and voila, all of a sudden there's sleeves, there's a body, it's a blouse. It's wonderful. And the really cool thing is, I mean, it's a little teeny bit frayed now, but this is yeah, there's the seam. There's one seam that comes around up to the mid-back neck, and then there's one seam that comes from here and then goes around and crosses over into the back. So that's the 2 seams in the garment, and then it's finished with a small silk facing. The sleeves and the hem are not finished at all because it's bias cut, so it doesn't ravel. This has been in at least 15 shows and all over the country, and this is still how good the hem looks, okay? And I'm not real nice to them when I throw them in and out of the suitcase. Yeah, and just a little facing. Thank you so much. Okay, thanks, Jill. What are you teaching this afternoon? Jill is going to be teaching hand sashiko this afternoon. So Jill does a lot of handwork in our teaching. She does the coloring with the colored pencils and crayons on quilts and all sorts of wonderful stuff. Hi. Wonderful. And this young lady is Marie Haynes, and Marie is from Lakeland. And she is wearing a new look pattern that's 65-25 for those of you who want to make this lovely piece. I used 2 medium weight Afrocentric double knit fabrics, so they're rayon knits, and they're a nice weight. I got to feel that backstage. And then the favorite part of making this was matching the highly unusual prints, made sure they played well together, and the knits were a breeze to sew. The challenge was this tried and true pattern. It's a tried and true pattern, and there were no challenges. She's flawless. And this is my 8th iteration of this pattern with different printed knits. So Marie, this is absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. And I like that. Is this piping or just applied? I like that. There's an applied trim around the neck between the print and the black and white. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's really cool. Thank you so much, Marie. And those sparkle shoes are to die. I know. Did you see those? Bling. Always wear some bling. Okay. Now he's got beautiful in rose print. And we have Grace Russell. And Grace is also from Lakeland, Florida. Grace is obviously well known here. She's wearing a new look pattern. It's $60.95. It's 100% cotton, rose floral fabric. That's tricky. She also made the handbag, and this is a pickle pie design. The handbag was made in the hoop, and it was, she applied the ruffle to the front of the handbag and to the sleeve of the garment. That was not part of the original garment. She wanted to jazz it up a little bit. And then she made bows to match her sneakers, because people were telling her on her YouTube channel, I can't wear those heels. Can you embellish something else? So, thus the sneakers. Very cute. Thank you so much. And look it up. Grace has a YouTube channel, and her name is Grace Russell, and I'm assuming that you can just look it up under Grace Russell. Next time she comes up, we'll ask her. Okay, the lovely Liz Frederick is back, and Liz is wearing palazzo pants that are my pattern. This is a bias waist palazzo pant. They're little inseam pockets, and then there's a bias band that goes around the top, and that is wonderful, because what that does is it allows the elastic to sort of scrunch in and not make a whole bunch of wrinkles, but it also forms over your hips, so you have much less bulk up at the top of the pant. And then the inseam pockets are perfect, because pockets, yeah, you know, and it goes well with any kind of woven fabric. This is a rayon woven. It's absolutely wonderful. And thank you so much, Liz. This lovely lady made her top. This is Lori Grant Coleman, and I'm Nick Coman. I am constantly getting your last name substituted for mine. Hand-woven Guatemalan poncho. It's hand-stitched and made to fit all sizes. She actually made it. The favorite part of making it was she saw the details of the woven fabric up close and have a deep appreciation for the weaves of the cloth. It took 6 months to hand weave on a wooden loom. Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. The ladies in Guatemala weaved it, but she took it and made it into something. It's absolutely lovely. That is really beautiful. And that's all cotton. Did we get the knot too tight? I can hold that. She's doing a striptease for us. And the second thing she has got to show us is a vintage style corset. She used vintage fabrics for the outside and the lining. I asked, the outside is actually called a cotillo, which is a very, very tightly woven cotton herringbone. Okay? And then her favorite part was enjoyed putting all the pieces and using zip ties as a perfect boning material. Uh-huh. Who says Home Depot isn't a sewing store? Okay? And the grommets were difficult to line up perfectly. Let go of the belt. Thank you. You can take another walk down there. And she was inspired after attending a Sewing Expo lecture on corsets by Cheryl Sloboda. FYI, last year she walked runway with a, she was the one with the twister raincoat. Do y'all remember that? It was a raincoat made out of, I love that, out of the twister mats. It was so fun. Anyway, thank you so much, Lori. That's a beautifully done corset. Anyone out there done corsetry? It's not a quick thing. It's fun. Oh. No, I know this one. So this is Lorraine Henry. Lorraine is one of our teachers, and Lorraine is in booth
512.
512, and that is, what's the name on it again? I'm sorry. Oh, Lorraine Henry. Oops. For Consel. What Lorraine is wearing is she's wearing a Liberty blouse by the Sewing Workshop, and this is done up in a really beautiful red silk matelassé. The matelassé was given to her, and she waited until she found a fabric or a pattern that was just right for this. What I love is the side seams aren't really side seams. They're sort of diagonal seams. Yeah, they come from under the arm and in front. That gives the back this beautiful drape. Gorgeous buttons on there. Just a really lovely jacket. Thank you so much, Lorraine. And we have lovely Grace again. And this time Grace is wearing one of my garments. This is a hand-dyed rayon fabric that I had woven in Bali. And it is done up in a bias cut tube dress. And the wonderful thing about the bias is that it fits absolutely everyone, and it's incredibly comfortable to wear. It's cut on the straight of grain and then sewn on the straight of grain or the cross grain, and then it drapes on the bias. So we have these wonderful diagonal seams coming across and around the body. And then there's a really wonderful cowl neck here, and the cowl is actually just a square that's folded into a triangle and then I inserted into the V. And this one is finished with hand stitching around the back neck and around the sleeves, so you can see actually little bits of, well, just hand stitching, pick stitch. Okay, thank you so much. And this is Liz Fredericks again, and Liz is wearing the exact same pattern that Ms. Russell just wore. This is done up in a shorter length with no sleeves again, but this time instead of the cowl neck, I put a lace insert in the front, and so that just sort of an odd shaped triangle there that goes in the front. But this once again is cut on the straight of the cross grain and then sewn up on the straight and the cross grain, hangs on the bias. And this is just a lovely black and white silk, pretty, easy to wear, easy to whip up. We actually made these in class and we got them finished. So it's a really easy to sew up pattern. Okay, thanks Liz. Oh, hello. I didn't get to see this one backstage. Oh, girl. Are you okay? Yep. There we go. Okay. So this is Marie Nick. And Marie is from Lakeland, Florida. And she is wearing a pattern, chiffon satin. It's made out of a chiffon and a satin. And it's McCall's 3650 for the sleeves and a vintage McCall's 7206 for the dress. The most favorite part of making this was modifying the dress to add a train and using a photo to help with the folds in the bodice. Did you drape those? Did you just drape them on your body once you were trying to? Oh, wonderful. Oh, cool. So this is Mom. Wonderful. Great job, Mom. It's absolutely gorgeous. And the challenge is how to attach the sleeves from one pattern to the dress and the folds in another bodice. Okay? This was her prom dress. That's at the very bottom. Isn't that sweet? Thank you, Mom, and thank you for modeling it for us. This is just gorgeous. Wow. Was prom fun? Oh, good. And next, wow. Okay, so this is Jill again, our teacher. These are two of my patterns. This is the palazzo pant again. This time it's made up in a washed silk taffeta. And then the jacket is the hand-dyed rayon, and this is called the magic jacket. This was my first pattern ever. What makes it magic is that I have taken, when I made the pattern, I took what were the bust darts that would normally be in front on the base pattern, and I moved those bust darts to the center front and then left them unsewed so that there's just a little piece of fabric extra in here, so that keeps the front of the garment on your bust as opposed to falling back all the time and having to keep pulling it. Okay? And other than that, it's gorgeous. Hand-dyed rayon again. By me. I dye a lot of fabric. And if you're interested, I do have fabric for sale. And this is Liz, and Liz is wearing a Louise cutting design. This is Twist and Shout, a shirt with flair and just plain fun. The asymmetrical front and back panels give the illusion of a twist, and we shout because it's so cute. Who wrote this? Made of 100% linen, can be found at booth 512, Lorraine Henry for Consell. Okay, remember that. Lorraine Henry for Consell. I'm saying that more for me than for you. Who carries patterns from the 3 L's, Linda, Louise, and Linda. That's Linda Cubic, Louise Cutting, and Linda Lee. Linda Lee from, the Sewing Workshop. It's the shortest names that trip me up. Thank you so much, Liz. That's absolutely gorgeous. 512. And Louise always carried the best fabric. This is gorgeous. And this is a Linda Cubic pattern. A jacket from Linda Cubic Designs, 005, was created by Lorraine from Silk Dubioni. You can walk in the front there. Yeah. And this is fully interfaced with Kathy Reddy's interfacing to prevent wrinkling. That's a 60-inch wide knit interfacing, correct? That's what I thought. And the front has a false placket created by making cording from the black silk Dubioni and hand whip stitching fusible thread to the stitching line and fusing. Okay? The cording to the front to look like a placket and was also used to create the design on the back. So basically, fusible thread. Fusible thread is good stuff. It's wonderful. But see how the back was able to be put in there with the fusible thread first and then stitched down permanently? Or is it still fused? After she fused it, she went and back stitched that. So that's absolutely wonderful. And the piping around the neck is a gorgeous detail. Thank you so much. Wonderful. And we have Grace again. And Grace, I asked Grace to model this one because this one is a pattern that's coming. This is actually not going to be a pattern. It's going to be a set of instructions because this dress needs to be done from measurements. So it's basically, I call it the 5-square dress because there's a square, there's a seam line here, comes up and over, and I just cut a neck hole in it. Then there are squares right here on the side panel. There's 2 side panels, and then there's 1 square in front that's been cut across the diagonal and sewn into the points, and then there's 1 square in back. So that's 5 squares total to make that dress. Okay? There are no curved pieces on there. It's all sewn on the straight of grain and hangs on the bias. And then I hung that on my dress form for probably a week with weights, and I kept spraying it with water because this is a really heavy rayon, and it kept stretching and stretching and stretching. Yeah, and then, but this looks, when it's on the hanger, it looks sort of little, petite, and then you put it on, but it's like, it's got what I call lunch stretch, you know, because, pardon me, but it's like, there's no Lycra, yeah, there's no elastic or Lycra in this fabric. It's just a straight woven fabric. Thank you so much, Grace. Doesn't that look cute on her? And here's Jill again. And Jill is wearing the same palazzos as the wash taffeta. The jacket is also the wash taffeta, and this is also the magic jacket. And then the top is the same top that Liz was wearing earlier and that Grace wore as a dress. And this is just done as a top. It's done out of a cut velvet that I got at Mood Fabrics for my 60th birthday. And it's done with a, this one has sleeves? Yeah, it does sleeves. It has sleeves. She says no sleeves. Yeah, anyway, this one has some sleeves on it, 3/4 sleeves, and is done with the cowl neck. Okay? And I just need to state that that cut velvet was really beautiful to look at and just evil, evil, evil to sew. Okay? Yeah. I need to talk to Jim Suzio and find out how he deals with cut velvet. Because I hate it. Okay, he hates it too, never mind. And here's Liz Fredericks. She's wearing the bias cut top and then the magic jacket. But this magic jacket was made by one of my wonderful, wonderful students. And she's sitting right over here. And this young lady, yes, this young lady made the jacket to match her hair. Or she made her hair to match the jacket. I'm not sure which one, but it's flawless either way. So what she did different on this one is she took and she put a yoke on the back. And is that because you ran out of fabric or because you just wanted the yoke? Yeah, okay. It's absolutely beautiful and it's in a hand-dyed rayon. Okay? And she extended the length or the width of the sleeves on this. So I was really, really pleased with the way that one turned out. We did that one in class last year. Last year, year before last? Yeah. Okay. Thanks so much, Liz. And this one is just the bias tee, the two-piece pattern. And I've done a little bit at the bottom here. I just added 2 plain old bias bands. No hemming, no anything. And literally, I just laid them on there and stitched them. They aren't, you know, and I figure, I didn't finish this. If anyone is going to come up and look at the finish on this, I've given Liz permission to slap them. They're too close. Okay? Thank you so much. Okay. Oh, wonderful. So we have Miss Nick back. Okay, and this is a Louise cutting design by popular demand. This green linen ensemble has both the blouse and a jacket in the pattern. This is just the jacket. The use of 2 different size button, oh no, this is the blouse as well, never mind. 2 different buttons set the 2 apart when worn together. The blouse has raglan sleeves and the jacket has a traditional set-in sleeve. And it's both practical and fun. You can get this in Lorraine's booth, booth 512, Lorraine Henry for Consell. And this is absolutely gorgeous. And once again, this linen is, it's sort of a midweight. It's absolutely, it's just yummy. Louise did, it's, like I said, great fabrics. Thank you so much. And now Jill is wearing a version of the tube dress that Grace had on earlier, the tie-dyed one with the cowl neck. So this is done in an Italian linen that has been, the fabric is actually, let me tuck the tag in. The fabric is actually embroidered, was embroidered prior to cutting, and then it's done on the bias. So this is the original bias seam coming down this way, but then what we did to add some flare to the bottom is added a triangle into the seam, a triangle godet into the seam. And that gives it a little more walking room. The linen is lightweight, it's good for summer and dressing. Thank you so much. And this is Lorraine. Lorraine is wearing the Frankie top, and this is a Linda Lee. Yes, this is a Linda Lee pattern. And this one I love because it's raglan sleeved in the back, set in, well, it looks like a raglan sleeve in the back. It's actually a set-in sleeve, but the way the seams are cut is absolutely wonderful. And there's this fun tuck in the back. This is a really gorgeous digital print linen. And she got it somewhere else. I got it at Haberman's, and she got it at Vogue, I got it at Haberman's, and I cleaned off the whole. It's absolutely gorgeous stuff. But this is a wonderful jacket, a little bit asymmetrical in sort of the look of it, but it's actually completely symmetrical all the way around, and those buttons are wonderful. Antique. Are they celluloid or bakelite? Probably celluloid. She has no idea. But no, they look like celluloid. Those are wonderful. Thank you so much. Were those from Rusty's? Lorraine? Were those from Rusty's? Okay, that's what I thought, yeah. Okay, now this is by Linda Kubik, one of the other L's, And this is a cargo, Elements 014. What set this coat apart and makes it special is the asymmetrical collar. It frames the face beautifully, and it's made of linen, and the cars were silk screened on the fabric by Linda. By fully interlining it with Kathy, once again, Kathy Ruddy's interfacing, we were able to keep the linen from wrinkling, but making it very wearable. And then it's lined on top of that, and it comes out of the suitcase looking pretty good. And once again, you can get this pattern in booth 512. Is that just underlined, or is it? No, it's fully lined and underlined with the interfacing. And then the top she's wearing now is this is the bias tee. Once again, the two-piece pattern. But what I did this time is I added a square godet into the front and the back to give it a little flare at the hip and turn it into a tunic. Okay, thank you much. And that one is a cotton or cotton voile. So, yeah, cotton voile. And so in Colorado, I have a retreat center in southwest Colorado. I am in a little town called Ridgway. We have 1,200 people and a yak. Well, the yak is across the alley. His name is Kevin. And I have a bear that eats my apples. I've named him Richard, and we all know what Richard is long for. He broke a branch off the tree, and I'm not happy with Richard. But Richard comes back every year and cleans up all the apples, so I guess I am grateful for that. I have to clean up fewer apples, and I would rather a little bear poop to rotten apples. And the squirrels get drunk on the fermented ones. Those are fun. Occasionally the deer get enough of the fermented apples that they get a little drunk, and it's really sort of hysterical to watch them sort of waddling down the alley. We've got the big deer. We don't have the little, white tail. We have the mule deer, and they're big. Do we have anyone else coming? Hello? Okay, I guess not. Wonderful. I wanted to thank you all for being here. If you see any of these teachers or any of the models out here on the floor, thank them for being part of this, and welcome, and have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Thank you.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the show. I sure did. I enjoyed being in it and watching it. I'm going to treasure that because it's just an experience that I think you should all try. If you're a creator and you have something to show, you show it on YouTube. Why not show it at the expo? It's a warm and welcoming crowd, and they want to celebrate your creation. And what a wonderful place to do it at. So finally, I wanted to show you what I'm wearing. And every video I like to wear a creation. And you might have seen this in another video, maybe not. But this top that I'm wearing is New Look 6622. And what she's wearing is the view that I'm wearing, and that is view B in the line drawings here. And I did the ruffle on the serger in the back, and the rest I used the sewing machine. And it has this binding with the same fabric. This is a Fabric Mart fabric. I don't know if they still have it anymore. I don't think they do. It has a ruffle here and in the back. Don't know how much you can see, hopefully. But I just like to show you. I wore this top on day 2 to the Sewing Expo because it was comfortable and light, and I just like it a lot. So that's the Sewing Fashion Show. And I just want to encourage you, my proposal for next year is if we all go down there again to enter. Nick needed participants. We only had, if you count them, how many were there? Maybe 6? And we had to make multiple changes of garments. So if you each have your own creation that you want to show with a matching bag, I know Carol has a beautiful dress with that embroidery and the matching bag. That would have been stunning in the show. And anybody else, I highly encourage it. It's a great experience. and I hope you liked it. But mostly, I hope this video got you so inspired.